So the problem is Twitter, Facebook, Google. Let's go for the really rich people. So they have privacy settings, and they play with these privacy settings. And whenever they make mistakes, there's an enormous impact on extremely big populations on this planet.
And experience is very much about multiplicity, especially when it comes to practices that involve participation. So it's not only how do we document experience, but how do we document experiences. So it's the multiplicities that complexify those questions.
Talking about the work that Maria and I have done together, we did a festival and a symposium about intimacy, and we're co-editing a book about intimacy at the moment. And we're both interested in the idea of the one-to-one form as a kind of performance. And about how that might take place either with one performer and one spectator as humans face to face, and then also within the different environment of a kind of digital or mediated or technologized environment.
Codify this in some way, use this kind of information to inform what future adjustments to questions of public and private information dealings might be like. So the research plan would be, we look back, analyze what's going on in the past and what's going on at the moment in the artistic work, in order to get an understanding of what negotiations are possible in the finding of public versus private spaces, and project forward into the development of digital media and social media.
Around the notion of intimacy in performance, intimate technologies, that other question that comes up is how do we document the type of work that is about a unique or very personal, very private experience.
And the issue of subjectivity within that. So that's just an example of one of the kind of depths of the conversation that we were at.
A living experiment in a changing set of ethical relationships mediated through digital technology.
And documented for later preservance, and I think it's a very valid approach. It's also the other way around, right? So what you do online, what you do in these media, what you do on Twitter, should be seen as a documentation of your performance, whether you want it or not. And we could reverse it that way. So that would be not a question of generating the documentation, that would be a question of analyzing the documentation that's already there.
Or erasing.
You can't erase it, you can't get rid of it. Like they know whether you click on your friend's picture on Facebook or not. They know.
I think one answer to it is first of all, you have to say it's not one single distinction, if there's one at all. I suppose the start would be, is there a distinction? If there is it one or many? My view is it's probably many distinctions, and it's then related to purpose and function. That's where you have to go with it. So for some purposes, there may not be a distinction. For other purposes, there may be a very strong distinction. So if you ask the question straight out, unqualified, does this distinction still exist? My answer is, I don't know. If you ask me in relation to X, Y, or Z, then I can start giving you an answer. And I think that's what needs to be mapped.
I think there are various layers of the work, and it's existing in parallel, almost universes. We're trying to figure out what could be a really useful way to unpack those beyond just having yet another seminar where you talk about, oh, it's such a problem to document digital live time-based work. So actually, how could you commission a work that was specifically about its own documentation, or how could you invite an artist in to make a work that was about the documentation of the work?
And if you can apply segments to our field, which is unknown.
I totally want to sit on a panel with Lady Gaga, and that will have impact.
I